I get some questions for you. When do you think you would go to a conference?
Live conference?
In-person conference?
It's going to be a long time. It will be after the vaccine has been tested by a whole lot of people who are not me, and after there has not been a spike for, I don't know, maybe 6 months. I'm not going anywhere with a lot of people anytime soon, sadly, because I like doing that, but
Yeah.
no, not happening.
When do you think a vaccine will come along? I mean, when do you think that will happen? That you'll feel safe enough to be able to go to a conference?
12 to 18 months for the vaccine, and then I will wait. I mean, my doctor says when a new vaccine comes out, my doctor generally says, let's wait 6 months. Let's see if anybody has bad side effects from it. And often they do.
Yeah.
You know,
So you are kind of in line with some. This is from a Mark Schaefer post, and he did some research on his own. Now it is only 126 people, so it is not by any means sound statistically. But he asked 126 conference goers, but not those whose income depended on conferences. So not conference organizers, not speakers at conferences, just people who would be going to conferences.
As a participant.
As a participant. And he asked them 3 questions. What is the most likely time frame large conferences over 500 attending will return? And when is it likely small events will return under 100? And what milestone event would have to occur once again attend a conference? I feel the same way about under 100 as I do about large conferences.
Me too.
And
You're talking about somebody who's afraid to go to the grocery store. You think I'm going to get on a plane and go to a conference?
Yeah, well, exactly. Well, right. Get on a plane too. That's the other part of it. Get on a plane, book a hotel.
Right.
1, 2, and then the conference itself, and then the Uber or whatever, the taxi or whatever, the ride to the conference. So
the restaurants,
different environments in which there's a danger posed to your health. And 100 people, it's a distinction without a difference to me between 100 and 1,000 when it comes to the spread of the virus.
I agree.
Yeah. So
sad though.
It is. He interviewed these people and compiled the results. And so when will people return to large conferences? 8% said by the end of this year, by the end of 2020. 28% by the first quarter of next year. 33% said by the second quarter of next year. 11% by the third quarter of next year, 4% by the fourth quarter, and 13% by sometime in 2022, and then 2% said beyond 2022. And I got to think, it's a long post. It's really well. If you're interested in this, it's a really good read and very thoughtful. But you said 12 to 18 months before you think, that's where most of these people were at. And I'm like, we're lucky. We're really, really lucky if we get a vaccine. If they just come up with a vaccine in 12 to 18 months. And then there's the time you need to test it to make sure that it's safe. I think the fastest a vaccine was developed was 4 years. HIV still doesn't have a vaccine. And that's been since the late 70s.
70s, yeah. I think this one is going to be faster because they just are so pushing so hard for it. But, all in all, it's a really bad sign. I mean, but the other thing is, I have a press pass to Social Media Week. I think we're in week 2 at the moment. I have yet to attend a session because I'm really not compelled to do it. If you travel and you're there, that's what you're there for. You go to the sessions. I'm doing something else and I forget. And they're not handling it well because they're not sending me reminders either. They're sending me something. How'd you like day one? Oh, did day one happen?
Yeah,
I
I've
think
got
there's
a couple of that.
a different thing. And also I know they're going to send me the replays, so I don't really have to be there live. But and then I can speed through it. But I mean, there's the virtual conference is simply not a substitute. It's a different animal. And I think that if they want to present virtual conferences as if it was just a virtual view of a live conference, that's not going to work. It has to be a new format, and I haven't seen that happen yet. Can't just have talking heads and fireside chats and people will fall asleep.
Yeah, so the reminder thing is very important for virtual events. I had this morning a hands-on kind of workshop. It was a 3-hour workshop. So it started at 8, and I'm like, my timeline has changed. I stay up later in the evening and work, and get up later in the morning. So I was like up at 9 o'clock and realized, oh shit, there's this thing that I missed. So I logged in halfway through, and it was a hands-on demonstration for keyword research kind of stuff I knew, learned some new stuff, but it was awkward because you do a hands-on, it's in person 9 times out of 10, and this was clearly the first time, it appeared to me, the first time this guy had done a virtual hands-on workshop. So and then I wasn't reminded the day before that the
that's what
event
happens.
was coming up, right?
Yeah. That's what
happens. So yeah, I think people are adjusting with the virtual stuff, and I don't know. It depends on the quality of who's speaking and whether you're going to learn something or not. Whether you're motivated to attend, and it's easy.
Well, the bottom line
as you said.
Being an expert and being a speaker are so vastly different, and
different skill set.
Yeah. But, at conferences, so, this session isn't good, you walk out, you go to another room, but online it's a whole different thing. And plus there's the bad lighting, and some of them have bad sound, and, so it's not as competitive.